Maximize Your Wealth Now TV. I'm so excited to have you here with us today because Mai Vu is one of my favorite people, and she's got an awesome message for you today. And it's all about hot love and how if you bring love into your life, you will have an awesome business and you will make money. So I want to introduce Mai right away. Hi, Mai. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Charlene. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I love your work and I love your message around money and being a wealthy woman. It's the way to go.
Yeah, and I'm just so delighted because you have the most amazing information to share with people. And you actually reach into people's hearts and bring the love out of them. And that is a very special technique that you have. So welcome to the show. And go ahead.
Well, you know, what's more important in life than love, money, and success, right? I mean, that's why us busy business moms and entrepreneurs in the world, we work so hard for are those three things in our life. So I'm thrilled to be able to support women to get that in their life.
Yeah, and you know, it's so hard in the business world as it is, and they're out constantly running themselves into the ground, trying to work so hard to make money. And your technique is so unique. So tell us exactly what it is that you can do to help women entrepreneurs.
Well, I have been a coach for 20 years, and I have traveled around the world to teach and train life coaches for other organizations until about 3 years ago when I realized that, oh my gosh, there's a whole body of work that I've accumulated over 20 years that really help women to put it all together. You know, like I learned from the best, and then Spirit channeled through me and taught me what's most important for all women to know about. And I have a engineering degree, so I have this amazing ability to explain human concept into very structural ways that you can understand, you know, from the law of attraction to love and a relationship, and money, you know, like to understand the energy of money and everything. So that's what I'm able to do, is put my program together in my way and what it takes for a busy business mom to really understand what it takes to build a hot business while not depleting yourself and allowing for love to come in at the same time. That's what we need.
That's so awesome, Mai. Now, let me ask you, when you say busy business moms, is this only moms with young children, or is this just all moms all the way up to those who are still working in their 60s?
Absolutely. And most of my moms are moms with kids that are growing up, you know, like teens and up, and that they're leaving the nest and the moms are ready to go bigger. And they have more time for themselves, and they really are ready for that impact. You know, they spend the last 10 years or 20 years really building, and now they're ready for the next level.
Ready to really fly themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how did you come upon this theory? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I have currently, you know, I have a six-figure business. I am an international coach and speaker, and I travel here to California and to Sweden to do my work now. But it hasn't always been this way. You know, I have been married for 13 years. I worked really hard to build my business and had my child with my ex-husband and did all this really hard work. And the harder I worked, the worse things seems to get, and it was stalling. My life was stalling instead of expanding, and I couldn't understand why that was the case. And it got so stressful that one day my relationship with my husband suddenly just broke apart, and it was to our surprise. We worked so hard in that relationship. You know, we like a good, hardworking people, but it was time to end, and I had to sit still and really look at my life and look at all the things that I've learned and ask myself, what's next? What do I need to learn next? And surprisingly, having gone through a divorce was exactly what I needed to know to really understand and put all the pieces together.
Mm.
And I now know what a woman needs to do to be thriving and growing younger instead of older, and making more money instead of working harder and keep depleting yourself, while having a great partner to really support you and love you, what I call love, adored, and cherish as you do your work. So that's what I get to really figure out. Because when I was with my husband and at that phase of my life, I only know about love. Now I know about to be loved, to be adored, and cherished.
Wow. So tell us what that feels like.
It feels super great. It feels super great. And I have to credit my current partner. We've been together for 8 years now, and he really showed me what it's like to be adored and cherished. My first husband showed me what it was like to be loved. And he was a very loyal guy, and we did everything together, but I was working really hard. And with this man, and with who I am and what I know about myself, we are able to, together, we're able to cultivate the next two level, which is to be adored means to look at someone and you can feel that. It's like, to say I love you is not enough. Like, I actually adore you. There is something there that is more than just to be loved and cared for. Right? And
Yeah.
then that sense of being adored allows you to be really beautiful and flirty and filled with joy, because you're seen. Your beauty is seen, and your magnificence is seen by the partner. And that just filled me up and allowed me to radiate even more. And where I'm part of the equation is I learned not to kill him, right? Because what happened a lot of times with my clients is that we don't know how to let love in. So when love comes to us, we actually bat it down, we beat it up, and then we don't trust it, or we test it, or we put a wet blanket over it instead of really allow it to burn like a hot fire and get hotter. And then when
Sorry.
sorry, one more piece. When I'm able to do that, then he can then also cherish me. He start to see that my work is my meaning in the world, and he supports me. And that, I think, is the most important point here, Charlene, is that you and I, we work with big, powerful women who are up to big things in the world, right?
Yes.
And we give so much. And in order for us to be replenished so that we can really do our work in the world, we need just as much back. So we need to learn to let love in so that we can fill up and do our work, rather than be so depleted in our life and then get angry and make it really hard for people to love us.
So May, I was at dinner with some very powerful women, as you put it, and they definitely are, and I have a lot of respect for them. But I found them saying things like, "I work so hard. I don't have time for a man in my life. There's just no time,
Yeah.
and I don't even date because there's no time." What are your thoughts about that?
That is the three pains of a successful woman who are single, right? One is you work so hard and you don't have time or space for a man in your life. And then when you think about inviting a man into your life, your fear, the rush of fear, and your experience of the past takes over, which is the last time I had a guy in my life who drained my bank account, left me broke, and I had to dig out this IRS bill. Like, it gets really bad. Like, my clients have these real life stories, where, oh my gosh. Anyway, so then they're like, I'm not doing that again. And then they look and they're like, I don't have space either. Not so it's so painful. And so they think that they can muscle it through. And then one day, magically, somehow will happen and he shows up. Well, it doesn't work that way. And the tricky part here too is that if that's how you are with love, that's also how you are with money and success. Because
Mhm.
love, money, and success are energy, and there's the same energy. And if you don't have space for love, you don't have space for more money and more success. right?
Wow, that's very interesting, May, that you put it that way. And I bet that'll resonate with a lot of people, because if we don't have time for that, and we don't have time for love, and that affects the energy of our money and success, that's a huge thing that we need to really take a look at. So tell me, you said you've been in your relationship for 8 years, and I've met your hot guy. He's a really great guy, and I love how he supports you, because he shows up at everything that I see you at. So was it a process that you went through to change yourself so that you could let him into your life? What happened?
It was. When my marriage broke up, I really sat down with myself and I wanted to undo. I want to pull things apart. I want to pull sex, relationship, and love apart, because they were all clumped together for me. And I did 3 years of experimentation and really consciously teaching myself to be in relationship with men. I had a lot of stuff from my dad and then from my ex-husband that cluttered me. And I was fearful. I was fearful of men. I was fearful of sex. I had trust issues. And it was just all a glob mess. And I had to just sit still and pull it apart, right? And then I did a lot of experimentation with different men so that I can reclaim my power around my sexuality. It's great to be at a place in life where I'm glad I didn't do all that in my 20s, because I wasn't ready. But when I was in my late 30s and 40s, I was ready, and I'm conscious, and I have the tools and the skill to do it. And I wish that I had someone to help me with that process. Maybe my marriage would not have had to break apart and all that stuff. But it did, and it taught me great skills. And then after that, I sat still for a year, consciously, and meditate for a year. I still work and everything, but whatever free time I had, I spent it on meditation. It was amazing. And then when I was done, immediately, I tell you, I never had to be on Match.com, never had to do crazy dating sites. That's insane. It's too much work. And frankly, I didn't have time for that. He just popped in my life, and it was right in front of me. And I rejected him at first. It wasn't quite right. And he needed to go and clean things up. And at that time, I was strong enough that I could say no very cleanly, very clear. And it took him a year to clean himself emotionally up and was ready. He came back, and, he fought for me, which was what I want for. I didn't want to be in a relationship with another man that I had to fight for the relationship. I want whoever to choose me and to fight for me. And so he did. And it worked, and we continue to set up our relationship so that we put each other first and that we keep choosing each other. So when I say to fight for me, I didn't mean that he had to prove himself or anything like that, but it's just like, you have to choose me, and you have to choose me as your number one, just like I choose you. I can have any man on this planet, and I choose you. And that's, I think, is a missing ingredient a lot of time in relationship. We end up with people because we're afraid to reach out. We don't think that we can have anyone in the world. But once you can get to a place where you know that you can have anyone in the world and you still choose this person, there's a different quality to that. It's hot.
Very hot.
Yeah.
Very hot. And I really appreciate that explanation. That's so awesome, because it really gives us a little bit of insight into the fact that there is a possibility that the ladies can find someone out there. And another comment that I want to address is they're saying, oh, there's no good guys left out there. It's nothing but the dregs. And I don't even know how to respond to that.
I so can relate to that. When I was doing my experimentation and I was with men, and I was like, and I was starting to believe that. But it's a law of attraction, and it's a very fundamental place. If you cannot see it, you cannot create it. If you're unwilling to visualize it and envision that it's there, or he's there for you, or that relationship is possible for you, how can you possibly create that? And what's worse, you then end up creating that you're right. There is no great man out there, right? So when I started to stop stop that tape. I was just like, no, not buying that tape anymore. Not playing that tape, not pushing play, you know? And I just started paying attention to men for who they are and what they bring to the table in this moment. And I let every interaction with them be good enough. And I
Well,
started cultivating. And this is I use the word cultivation instead of finding. Most people are searching and finding the right man. The truth is, a hot man and a good man is right in front of you. But you have to know how to cultivate that and bring that out in yourself and out in him and in the relationship. It's not hard work. It's fun work, actually. But once you can see that, then anybody, even an asshole in front of your face, you can still find that element in him that has the love and the caring there for you. And interact with that and let that become, you know, the fire instead of looking like for a needle in a haystack. That's just too hard.
yeah, that is really, really hard and very, very frustrating also, is to, you know, because it is kind of like a needle in a haystack. I can't really, you know, figure out a lot of times who's out there and who's not. And I did all that match stuff. May, I think we're in trouble here.
Why?
Because I think, oh, there we go. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I was on Match.com for, oh, I don't know, about a year and a half. I dated so many different guys, and you know, you just get like, oh, if he doesn't show up on time, or he doesn't take an interest, or there's so many if he doesn't, you know what I'm saying, that make them a problem. And then you run the other direction. You don't even give them a chance.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I did my own experiments, and I think this is where I see a lot of women who are dating. They do it backward. But you're trained to do it backwards, so it's not your fault. This is how you were trained. You were trained to look for relationship instead of training to see that each opportunity, each engagement with a man is an opportunity for you to heal something. When you start to take that as, I'm not here to find the guy for the rest of my life. I'm just here to heal something. What is that thing that this man can help me heal? Then that experience be full. And then each engagement, whether it turns out good or bad, you're walking away feeling something inside you. So you walk away powerful instead of depleted. Walk away knowing more about yourself instead of justifying or confirming that, see, there's no good guy out there.
And you know, that's such a good point that you made, because a lot of times women are saying, oh, I'm only looking for just the one that's going to last me a lifetime. And you're saying, let me just find somebody that can teach me something about myself. Is that right?
I don't use the word find. I just said, whoever that shows up, I manifest. Right? He shows up in front of me, and I look. And it could be business, it could be sex, you know, a sex relationship, or just a platonic relationship. It could be any of those. But like, what is he here for? What is he here to teach me or help me practice? So teaching could be either side, right? It could be a terrible relationship that you have to walk away from really quick. So you learn, I have enough confidence now that I can say no and walk away really quick. And there's no way that, you know, he can come in here and muck up my space. That's hot. You reclaim that and you solve 50% of your problem.
Right.
Yes. And then with a nice guy who does everything for you, then you can see, you can experiment. Okay, how can I help him, you know, be really hot? What's here? How can being in my presence will bring out his hotness? And where do I catch him being a hero in front of me so that he walks away taller, stronger? You know, who cares if you're going to end up in bed? Who cares if he's going to marry you or live happily ever after? Give that up. Just stay in this moment and really practice doing this moment really well.
That's awesome. I love that. And on that last note, we're going to cut away just for a minute, because I have such an important tip for you. So we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Aren't you sick of running from networking class to networking group, lunch to dinner, holding all different kinds of cups in every different meeting? Well, it's time to quit that. It's time for massive visibility and massive income. You can really win this game if you just learn how. It's so simple. So join the celebrity guest experts. They know the answers, and it's your turn.
So hi everyone, welcome back. I want to welcome Mai Vu back, who's giving us some awesome tips about how to cultivate love, money, and relationship into our business. And I really love the way she thinks. She comes from a very spiritual heart, and she's a celebrity guest expert. So let's welcome her back. Welcome, Mai.
I'm back.
I just love working with you because you have such a light heart and it's such a deep soul, and it just shines through in your eyes and your smile. So thank you for blessing us with that.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for bringing your message wide to the world so that women all over the world can access us and can see for themselves that they too can have a hot life with hot business and hot love in their life.
Yeah, and Mai is also a writer for Wealthy Women magazine, so she has articles there that you might want to read because she's so well educated with regard to this, and so many of us need so much help in this situation that she's just an awesome resource. And you also have an event coming up, don't you?
I do, and I have to tease you a little bit. Wait till you see the latest article for this next edition of the magazine. I'm gonna blow your socks off.
I can't wait.
Funky a myth that most people are like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I tested out with my clients, and they're all like, oh, when does that article come out? I want to read it. I'm like, yes. I'm so excited.
Is it going to be sexy?
It's going to be wild. It's going to be like, it's going to just blow your mind. You're going to go, no, I had never thought of it that way. That's really fascinating. So wow. That's going to be.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I mean, I publish the magazine, but I don't get the articles until the last minute. So I don't always get to see them. So it's going to be exciting for me too.
Oh my gosh, you're going to have to wait a few weeks. Oh!
So Mai, let's go back to what we were talking about before. And I want to know, if somebody is coming to you to be supported, you know, how do you work with them? How do you draw them out enough to really find out what's going on in their life so that you can help them?
Yeah, I would love to talk about that, but can we do that next? Because I really want us to cover that whole relationship between love, money, and success. Like, how does those three tie together?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Right? Being wealthy woman, success and money is really important to us. I know it is very important to me. If I make money, I feel proud and big and tall. And if I'm stuck around that, or if I'm not going for my success, then I don't feel complete. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really important to honor that. You know, like, first of all, we are that kind of woman. We're not just the one that stays at home and being supported. We like supporting ourselves. We like supporting our family. We like making a big difference in the world. Right? Amen.
Yes, absolutely.
I have one. Yeah. And
you get a big yes from me on that one.
Too bad. And that's why we love each other so much, because we're made of the same cloth, as they say. So I think it's so, first of all, it's important to honor that and to not feel guilty about that, because there are three things that busy business women do that really shoots ourselves in the foot. And you need to know about this, because it gets in your way of having love, success, and money. Is that okay if I share that? Those three?
Please do.
Yeah, so first of all, you do everything. You say yes to everything, and you take on too many things. And when you do that, you get really tired and tough. You know, you got to toughen up and care. like think of a burrow, you know, you keep loading yourself up and it's just kind of like you hunch over like this. It's just too much. So, and it comes from a belief deep inside that is not true. So that's the second part that ties in together, is that you actually believe that you're not good enough, and that no matter what you do, it's still not good enough. So you constantly say yes to more things. You're constantly proving to yourself and to others that you're good enough, both in dating, in work, in business, everything. And so you could see how those two things feed into each other and just makes it worse, right? And then we add the third thing on top, which is you take it on for some reason that this is your job to make people around you happy. So you start walking on eggshells trying to please everybody. You tiptoe around what your needs are, or you bottle yourself up until one day you blow up into, you know, like anger, and then you blow up at people, and it's like, and then you wreck relationships that way. So you make yourself really difficult to love. So if people can't love you freely and can't support you freely, they can't bring you projects. They can't bring you money. They can't bring you opportunities, because they, you know, it's like you're not fun to be around. So why would I want to be with you? So that's a very simple explanation of how love, money, and success tie in together.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Because you're absolutely right. You know, powerful women think they're, excuse me, think they're Wonder Women. And, you know, we can only just do so much with our lives. And, you know my limit's 3. I can't do more than 3 things, or I just become a whole different person. So once you layer that fourth thing on, then I feel like I'm going under. I'm not, you know, I've got my finger up and I'm just trying to float around.
You breathe into a straw.
I know.
Yeah. In fact, I have to tell myself, just do one thing. Do one thing today. Do one thing right now. Just one thing. And let go of the rest. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. So it doesn't have to ride on you, but it really starts from that deep, insidious place of, actually, how dare you actually think that you're still not good enough, right? Not good enough to be loved, not good enough for success, not good enough to be seen in the world. It's so painful. So that's, you know, out of the thousands of clients that I have coached, and even life coaches that I have trained and certified, that is the number one common thing, that you actually think that you're not good enough and you haven't done enough.
Well, I think we're raised that way, aren't we? I mean, I know in my life, I was never even allowed to sit around and read a book. It was like, get out there and get going and, you know, buck up and get on with it. It's like, wow, can I just sit back for a minute and think about what I want to do and manifest what I want to do, instead of running all over the place, you know, to every event, everything that's out there, trying to show and prove that I'm good enough.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And what you said there is so powerful. You know, you can muscle it, you know, that muscle, that picture of the you can do it woman that looks like that, right? You can do it that way, which I don't recommend. And I know I've done that way, and you can only get so far.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Well, the problem is it works. It works to a certain point, and then it has a steep return. What is that called? Oh God, my brain just lost it. You know, like your return on investment just dive on that one.
Yeah, return. Yes, I got you. Yes.
And so it's like at some point in your life, especially, you know, after you're like 45 and heading into 50, 60, you're older and wiser now. You know, there's another way to do work, and it's from manifesting and from creating and attracting. You've heard it from the law of attraction. You heard it all over the place, but a lot of you don't trust that. Yeah, so you trust this muscle because you can see it, but you don't trust that if you sit still and you take good care of yourself and you allow love to come in and you allow consciousness to come in, you shift the energy, you shift what happens. and you don't let yourself be supported because you don't think you're worth it, right? So when you allow yourself to be supported, suddenly you can breathe more, your space open up, and your container to hold love and money and success gets bigger. That's the number one problem, is that not only we can't attract it, but we can't even hold it. How many times when you think, oh my God, that's a lot of money, I don't know if I can handle that. That's
Well,
your
no, I
capacity.
wouldn't think that, because that's what I do.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of women out there who'll say, if I sit still, I'm not going to have enough money. I'm not going to have the money to pay my bills if I sit still. So how do you respond to that?
I learned this from a dear friend of ours, Ben and Jen. And Ben and Jen taught me that when they are really stressed out, they double on their meditation.
Great advice. That's really wonderful advice.
Yeah. We're just going to go straight to it, right? I'm going to assume that your viewers are already women of consciousness, and that they really are, they understand not just about the due diligence of money and work and work ethics. You already got that one. So where you need to shift into is in this whole place of to be loved, adored, and cherished, to have joy and raise your vibration and meditation and self-care, so that you can really open up and increase your capacity to receive love and abundance.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds so much easier than running all over the place trying to figure out what you have to do and chasing the next shiny objects, as we like to say.
Yeah, and chasing after that man, oh, so not good.
You're right. So not good.
All of my clients, when they come to me and they're like, I want love, I'm done, I'm ready for that man, and so now to answer your other question, which is how do I help them? First, I sit down with them and I have a very clear conversation of like, what is it that you really want, and you really, really want, and you really, really want, because you have to ask that at least 5 times for people to get to what's really true for them. And then the next question is, what is stopping you from having what you want? That is so crucial, because that's where the truth comes out. Now I can see the level of readiness, the level of ability to really receive and allow it to come in. And I hate to tell you this, but 99.9% of the women, when that question comes, the truth is they don't trust it, they don't let it in, and they don't know how to hold it. So that's why you don't have what you want. So that's then we create a roadmap of like, okay, here's what we need to heal. Ding, 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 right? And then it's like, and then I have practices that you work through, so that you have community with other women, with my teaching and a process, because we all need a process and structure to help us break through this pattern in our head that is so old, that's been passed down sometimes lifetimes ago. So we need to break those patterns with new practice, so that you can let love in. And when you start to let love in, you'll be loved, adored, and cherished in every aspect of your life, instead of just your romantic relationship. And that, my friend, is hot life, hot love.
Awesome. Awesome. And it's so hard to see those patterns that you're talking about, because we have to see them in ourselves so that we can really look at them and digest them and figure out what to do next. And, May, I know you're awesome with that. And we don't have much time left. So I do want you to talk a little bit about your event, because you have such an awesome presence in front of people. And I've seen you speak many times, and it's just been absolutely marvelous. So share a little bit about that with us.
Thank you. So if you are tired and done with the result that you're getting, and that you really are longing for the love of your life to come in, that will support you to accomplish your mission in this world, so much more fun that way, then I invite you to my 2-day live event. In August 8th and 9th, I will be doing it in California at the Marriott Hotel in Dublin. And then in October 3rd and 4th, I'll be in Sweden in Malmo, which is 20 minutes from Copenhagen. And in these 2 days, I will show you step by step what you're doing that's getting in your way of love, money, and success. And then I will show you how to undo that pattern and really let go of the pain of your life and have the success and the joy and the love that you want. And as a bonus on the second day, I'm actually going to have a man panel, and we're going to do
a man panel.
This is like candy, you know. The women love this part of my program, where we are going to have men of different age groups to come in and talk to us, so that you can see the real truth about men. We have been misunderstanding men for way too long, and it's hurting us, and it's hurting your business, and it's hurting everything. And I will show you how to work with men so that you will get them, you know, loving, adoring, and cherishing you. That's what the 2 days are about.
You know what? I can't wait to go, May. I'm already signed up. You know I'm signed up.
I can't wait to have you there. Yeah. So let me tell you how to sign up for that. Is that okay?
Sure. Please do.
So see the link underneath my title there? I made that special link for Charlene's Tribe. So you have a special invitation from me. So put it in just like that, http:// you know, and then hatlifehatlove.com as Shreves for Charlene's name. And it will take you to the sign up page. So the event is actually free. It's valued at $997. But all I ask is you commit yourself by reserving your seat for $97. And then on Saturday, August 9th or August 8th or October 3rd, when you come, there's a check there with your name on it with $97 right back at you, baby. So I just want you to come so that you can get this wisdom. And a lot of people ask me, so how do you make money out of something like that? Here's what I know. I provide the most value, the best, so that you can really see, and the right people will decide to work with me. So there's no catch. You know, I know how busy you are. I know, you know, what does it take to get you to commit. So got to get you to put money down so that you come and get that check back, and then you'll get to receive the information, and most of all, to be loved in those 2 days and replenish yourself. And welcome to my world, so that you can see how doing business and living life and raising children could be life. Right? The way you're doing it, that's way too much work. Come on over. I'll show you how to do it the easy way.
That sounds awesome. And we've just run out of time. So May, quickly, do you have a free gift for the audience?
Oh, yes. When you sign up for that, it comes with a free gift, a video series of my Understanding Men. So you get a jump start on the men panel. And in this video series, it's really special because I have a guest on that series, and he helped me identify the 7 power principle for men, that if you know this as a woman working with any man, you can help them be in that principle. They don't even have to know that you know this, so that they can be really hot. They can show up for you. So it's a win-win. You know, it's all for us, right?
So powerful, May. That's so powerful. So I know all of you are going to want to go to May's 2-day event, and you'll see me there. I'll be there too. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. And May, do you have any final thoughts very quickly?
Let love in, and the money and success will come. I promise you that. The more you allow it to come, the more it will come. This is your birthright. You're working hard. It's not your birthright. I don't know how you end up there. I've been there. I know what that's like. And it was just some old conditioning and old things that, you know, life passed down to us. We're done with that. It's time for joy. It's time for money, and it's time for success, and it's time for yummy hot love.
Well, thank you so much, May. This has been a wonderful day having you in our lives. We really, really appreciate your time and your really good advice. And we look forward to seeing you at your 2-day event. So thank you, viewers, for sharing our time together, and maximize your wealth now in business, finance, family, and lifestyle. See you next time.
Woohoo!
Become a celebrity guest expert with your own web TV show and turn massive visibility into massive income. Sign up here to learn how and why. You'll get your free VIP membership, and you can listen to the free Celebrity Guest Expert Call. Take your first step now. Sign up at maximizeyourwealthnow.com/member-login.